Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello, it is me. I am here, and I'm dropping things.
She's dropping things. See, it wouldn't be a day at Clownfish Studios that you're dropping things.
Truth bombs!
Truth bombs, there we go. So we're going to talk about Geeky's favorite subject, which is Disney.
Not now. It used to be one of my favorite subjects.
Once upon a time. So we're going to talk about Disney and their, what looks like their concerted effort to distance themselves from Walt Disney. It looks like Disney is trying to take the Walt out of Disney. This is a new rumor that Walt Disney World could be dropping the Walt.
Well, they got a problem too, because I'm just pointing out that the M's in this most magical place on Earth, if turned upside down, could be construed as a W.
Oh my God.
So they need to make it Disney World, the most magical place on Earth. Because just to avoid any confusion.
Most agitated place.
Agical.
They're going to take the W's. They're going to take the W's off all the keyboards.
They take the M out of magic. Yeah, that's funny.
At Disney. That's what they're going to do.
They take the M out of magic.
So let's talk about this. Again, this is a rumor for now, but you know what? The way things are going, I can completely see this happening.
We've been mentioning that we thought this was going to happen.
Walt Disney current year was a very problematic individual. We'll talk about that. His politics don't align with current year Disney Corp politics. And of course, they're going to, kill the maker, get rid of the person who created the company.
Well, if you had to get rid of anybody who created a company or a country that didn't align with the current political climate, you'd be getting rid of a lot of companies and positions of government, et cetera, et cetera.
You just take their face out of all the pictures and then pretend,
they're coming for the money next.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 273,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We do talk a lot about Disney, having worked in and around the company for a number of years. Go out to piratesandprincesses.net for objective Disney news like this story from Mr. Milo. And I'm giving a hat tip to him. He talks about an article on Cinema Blend that talks about the podcast from Jim Hill, who is a Disney insider. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's not right, but he does seem to know people at Disney and he knows what they're talking about.
Well, before we go any further too, I want to make something very clear. I don't necessarily think this is because of Walt, and it could be. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the only explanation, because they're not changing the name of the Walt Disney Company. They're talking about just changing the name of Walt Disney World, because most people call it Disney World. And my first inclination was more that everybody just calls it Disney World and it's easy, like Disneyland, than it was about Walt. But given the circumstances, it could be because of politics, but it could also just be because everybody just calls it Disney World.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Now, a little bit of a backstory here. Walt Disney World was never intended to be called Walt Disney World. It actually was going to be Disney World. It was Roy Disney who decided to name it Walt Disney World in memory of Walt, who had passed away before the park opened.
So knowing that, the name Walt is on there as a commemorative reason. So by taking it off in some way, they are taking Walt off when it was put there by his brother on a purpose for a reason. But most people just say, I'm going to Disney World. They don't say Walt Disney World. So I can kind of understand why they would take the Walt off.
Now, if that were a one-off.
Exactly.
If that were a one-off, I might be inclined to believe the official story. However, we know that they cut Walt's speech, opening day speech, from Disneyland's anniversary celebration for the first time in decades. We know that they're, obviously they're retheming the Song of the South in Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog, and they
wanted to do that anyway.
They wanted to do it anyway, but
they just use it as an excuse.
They're auditing the company basically to look for anything problematic. And
yeah, like the Jungle Cruise, they took out the natives and replaced them with chimpanzees.
Yeah. And the thing is that Walt Disney was a flag-waving Republican. He actually spoke out against communists back in the day during the Red Scare. Some people would argue he went overboard because, he had an axe to grind with his animators who wanted to unionize and almost put him out of business.
Some would argue he didn't go far enough because here we are.
So again, there's some stuff going on. This has, come up multiple times in the last couple of years. Like anytime Disney's like, we're going to get rid of our problematic history, our problematic past. It's like, well, then you got to get rid of Walt because he had some beliefs that were.
But they aren't changing the name of the company.
Yet.
But I'm saying if they do this, they'll do it first and then we're just going to call it, the Disney company.
Yeah, so Mr. Milo has an article on piratesandprincesses.net, and we did tell you that, it originally came from Jim Hill on the Disney Dish podcast. They might just drop the Walt in the Walt Disney title and call it Disney World like they do Disneyland.
Right, which honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done that sooner.
Now, here's the thing. If you go out to the Cinema Blend article, you can see this little snippet here, and they kind of bury it in there. There have been some indications that Disney as a company is taking steps away from Walt. The biggest of these came on July 17th, the anniversary of the opening of Disneyland. In recent years, Walt Disney's original dedication speech has been played inside the park. This year, that didn't happen. Again, if it was a one-off...
It hasn't just been in recent years, but okay.
Yeah. A lot of fans questioned, not including the speech. Some wondered if Disney's recent advancements to try and make the park more inclusive.
There's a difference. Inclusivity is one thing. There's inclusivity, and then there's just being ridiculous.
Yeah, they said that Walt has not been seen as an inclusive figure. Splash Mountain is being rethemed away from Song of the South. That, again, is 10 plus years in the making.
Yes, they keep trying to say it's because of diversity and inclusion. Bullshit! I can tell you for a fact that is not the case. They've been trying to get this put through for years. Everybody pushed back. So as soon as they saw an opportunity where if you push back, you're a bad person. Yeah. Look at how anytime you don't like a show or a movie they put out, it's automatically they run with you're a bad person. The Star Wars account talks about how everybody's racist. I mean, there's a common denominator here.
Well, we have to bring up that Walt championed Song of the South. You know who else championed Song of the South is Whoopi Goldberg.
She's always in trouble for something.
She's been trying to get re-released for years. I mean, honestly, the movie itself, because people fundamentally don't understand the time period.
Most people didn't watch the film.
No, they think it was like, oh, they're slaves. No, actually, they're not. They're sharecroppers. Not that's really much better, but. The movie itself is actually kind of boring.
Well, you know what? The sharecropper is not much different. But when you say about indentured servants, they're like, well, that's not the same thing. So I guess that's not the same thing.
Well, Disney employees are basically sharecroppers, indentured servants. I mean,
there you go.
College program. The college program.
Pretty much.
So now they're like the worst of the worst stories about Walt are not true. That's true. People try to.
Who you talk to.
People, thought he was anti-Semitic, and that's once again, it's a question of perception. If the speech not being included was simply an oversight, the fact that the oversight took place was potentially telling regarding what was seen as important for the anniversary of the park he opened.
And what was it?
And what wasn't. They're claiming that if it gets changed, the official justification is going to be that they want to keep the branding in line with Disneyland. They have the...
But why after all these years?
Right. That Walt himself didn't name it Walt Disney World. It was going to be Disney World.
Well, they'll try to argue it's Disney because of Disney Brothers is what they're going to try to argue next. Because Roy does get shafted, to be fair.
He does. And Abigail is the granddaughter, I believe, of Roy. So
I mean, I sincerely can see both arguments here. I mean, not that I agree with the one about, I think taking Walt's name off of it just for political reasons is stupid. But people just pretty much call it Disney World. And I'll tell you another reason they might do it. They got themselves in some financial pickles a couple times because when they were making merchandise, they were making them for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And sometimes they've gotten the things they offered as one thing, and it cost them more money to make them both. And they could just put Disney on it.
Yeah.
So it'd be cheaper just to brand everything Disney.
Why do you think they painted the castle?
We said that. You said the first thing.
The very first thing I said when they painted Cinderella Castle to the god awful pink and blue and gold. I'm like. It's the same color scheme as the castle in California. They're doing it so they can just sell castle merch.
Because they do. They call it Disney Castle now. There's merch now that has just a bit generic castle. It's a cross between the two, and it's called Disney Castle. Yeah.
So what they can just sell the same crap all over the world. I mean, you look at the castles in the other countries even, and they're like Shanghai's is similar color scheme. It's bigger, but it's kind of a similar.
Right, but they're doing it for saving money. They're going to say it's for because we care. No, it's because you care about your bottom line.
Now, do I think they would do this? I don't know. They're taking the signs out.
Yeah, but that was like the Tower of Terror one. The Tower of Terror one.
The welcome sign. The
welcome sign. No, I can tell you what's going to happen. They're not going to take the welcome sign out and not replace it with Mickey and Minnie on a different type. They're just probably updating it.
Okay.
They just updated this like last year though for the 50th. But they'll bring them back. But what I think they're going to probably do is watch them put screens there or something so they can promote whatever IP they want to promote that week. Or it'll be like, we're going to put Mickey and Minnie, but we're going to also put Star Wars characters and Marvel characters, and Spider-Man's going to be hanging upside down off the Walt Disney World sign.
They probably will. Oh, no.
So they probably can't because, they can't use Spider-Man.
What they'll do is make sure that the Welcome to Disney sign is Magic Band Plus compatible. Mm-hmm. So when you go in, it'll be like, oh, look, here's all your favorite characters, Joe. Kind of like they did with Small World.
Well, I did a whole article about how much they're charging for these things. And like the Magic Band Pluses are averaging like $35 to $45. The regular Magic Bands, they want $35, $45. It is insane.
So we're gonna segue into just a general backlash against Disney from
they do this. People are going to lose their shit. I'm telling you straight up.
Like, how are we going to celebrate Walt Disney's 50th or Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary? We're going to get rid of the Walt from Walt Disney World.
No, they're going to do it. They're going to wait till the 50th is over. Yep. Now we're going into a new era because we're coming into next 50 years. That's what they're going to do.
Yep.
You heard it here first. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, this is amazing, guys. That Disney's for everybody, not just the racists.
I think it's not just the Nazis.
Not just the Nazis. Disney's not for the Nazis anymore. It's for everybody. Everybody.
It always was.
Ladies and gentle things. It's for everybody.
You're not allowed to say ladies at all. You have to say they, them.
Bitches and hoes and gentle things.
They, them.
Welcome
to Disney.
Welcome to Disney, motherfuckers. Welcome to the Tea Party, pal.
That's right.
Oh, you can't say Tea Party.
You can't say pal either.
You can't say pal. You can't say, I don't know.
I'm surprised Mickey Mouse Clubhouse isn't canceled or Mickey isn't canceled. Hey, pal.
Oh, my God.
We don't know what Toodle's preferred pronouns are. I'm just saying.
Ah, Toodles. Anyway, so we're gonna get into this here. A lot of backlash over the Magic Bands. A lot of people saying they're canceling their annual passes. I know.
I've seen so many.
Personally, I am done. Like I'm not saying I'm never gonna go, but like as far as the desire to go, like we used to have like the Disney itch. Like we would go and be like, oh, I don't want to do that again anytime soon. And then like a week later, okay, let's plan the next trip. Because Disney's awesome, and it's not there anymore. I
can't tell you how many people, I'm on the different pass holder boards and stuff, how many people are like, I am just canceling it because I can't do this anymore. And I've been a pass holder for years. I've had DVC. I just can't do it anymore. And of course, it's always met with, good morning for me. You're a terrible person. Because anytime you say anything that isn't Pixie Dust and Magic, even if you tell a true story,
it's a cult now.
You're a shitty person. How dare you crap on Mickey and piss on Walt's grave
no, they're pissing on Walt's grave.
I know, that was the irony.
Actually, they're pissing on James Baskin's grave. He got an honorary Academy Award for his role in Song of the South.
It's not okay.
And they buried the movie forever. He wasn't even allowed to go to the premiere of the movie. His grave is like a very low-key grave, and people clean it off here and there, but like he has been completely forgotten to time. Because Disney is so embarrassed by this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's such a shame. I mean, this is another one where I think, kind of like Gone with the Wind, they should own it. They produced it, release it with a whatever disclaimer at the beginning.
Maybe do a whole beginning part where you just credit to this actor.
Get Whoopi Goldberg.
So everybody, no one forgets.
Yeah, and he's been forgotten because of them trying to pussyfoot around.
That's what we do. Yeah. We need to make sure we're more diverse and inclusive, but we're going to raise diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, by forgetting a huge accomplishment by an African American actor, who it's just
groundbreaking accomplishment.
It's sad,
but whatever.
Anyway, so Magic Band Plus landed with a thud. I thought this was funny. If you wave your Magic Band Plus in front of the statue, you get this fun message from Figment. I'm not going to play it, but this is fake Disney facts.
It's hilarious.
He's like, buy my merch or they're going to close my ride.
Yeah, it's funny.
This one, the Magic Band Plus lets you actively bid for the Pirates auction. We wants the redhead. I love this. This is my favorite. If you wear a Magic Band Plus at Universal Studios, a team member will take you out to the parking lot and break both your legs. I think that's amazing. But yeah, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of articles like this, and look.
Oh yeah, I saw this one just the other day.
They come in waves. A lot of times, man, these ads, but I can't run it without the ads. I've seen a lot of articles come up like this. I'm canceling my annual pass, and this is even going back a couple of years. I remember Pete Werner at the Diz like 2 or 3 years ago was like, it's gotten to the point now with the price of the annual pass. Oh no, I don't want to. newsletter. The price of the annual passes that it.
Well, he had what was it?
The Key to the World.
Yeah, Key to the World.
Which is
and
both coasts very expensive. He
canceled that, went with like I think probably a more local one.
Yeah, and it's like it's just not worth it.
But
for
you
a
can't
lot
buy
of
annual passes right now anyway. Still, but,
no, but
you know, they said that people are just they're in droves canceling their passes. I mean, I can tell you for a fact, I talked to a lot of them. I've been on these boards. People are canceling. They're just tired of it. The higher prices, the Genie Plus now, the, you know, constant upcharges. You know, you have to, you know, if you stay at the hotel, you have to pay for parking now. You know, it's a matter of time till you have to pay for like, you know, Genie Plus pass to use the restroom. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I used to joke about fast passing the bathroom with some of the, you know, snacks and stuff they had there, but I'm like, it's getting to that point. Like, I'm really thinking that
they thought they could make money on it. They're going to do it.
Yeah, and this doesn't have anything to do with politics.
They're going to start charging by the pound.
You have to cut Jimmy's leg off. We are. Parks have disappointed with fewer perks, bigger crowds, and higher prices.
Other crowds are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, that's the thing.
Hollywood's horrible.
People think that the parks are going to change, that people are going to stop going altogether. That's not true.
Until people stop going, it's not going to change.
We were down there this year, and it was packed. I mean, it is. I can't say it's not packed. So Disney has no incentive to change until people actually. Now, what might do it is the recession.
I was going to say the recession might change that.
Yeah, but
I heard some people had to cancel their trips because of expenses.
Now, I don't know, you know, politics have any impact at all on attendance at Disney because, I mean, it's really, really busy. But a lot of people are they're normies. They're not paying attention to everything going on.
Anyway, yeah. You're in a Disney bubble when you're down there anyway. You don't even care about politics. I didn't hear anybody talking about politics when I was at Disney.
Let's go see Mickey.
I didn't see anybody looking at people trying to figure out if they're Republican or Democrat. They were just trying to figure out how to, you know, get around someone's ass and how to, and whether.
Whoa. Some of those bus drivers, they're trying to figure out how to get around.
They're trying to get into the ass. That's a different.
Yeah,
that's something completely different. Yeah. And try to figure out, you know, if it was worth $7 for, you know, a cupcake.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's never worth $7. Well, I don't know. There's
some
some
of
pretty.
those Disney cupcakes. You know,
not the Disney ones.
You know what though? You pay a lot of money for a cupcake and they're big, but I've had much better cupcakes at local bakeries, and they're like a fraction of the cost.
Yes, I agree. Actually, even Disney food, I can't remember the last time. I mean, there were a couple restaurants that were pretty good, but I know we went to the new Space 220.
Oh my God, I cannot recommend it at all.
It was shit.
And it's like $7 or $60 a person, $55 a person,
something like that. It was like, man, and we expected to be. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's like I'm going to outer space. I'm going to eat lunch or whatever.
Really,
it's not a Disney restaurant. Yeah, it's very generic. It wasn't a Disney restaurant.
And after by the time we were there, the video started replaying itself.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the space. Yeah, you're supposed to look out just so you know, you're supposed to look out into outer space, and it's basically just a star field that looks like something out of a Star Trek, low-budget Star Trek.
Earth's there.
Fan film. And then there's like Earth, and then like a couple of astronauts floating around.
They're working on a ship or something. As a space dog.
They're building Elon Musk's bathroom. I don't know.
And the food was, I mean, the server was sweetheart. I mean,
she was very nice. Yes.
The best part of it were the people that worked there. The food was crap.
It was awful. I mean, the plating was good. Then you ate it. It was like, God.
But it wasn't just that. It was just like the choices. I mean, if you have picky eaters, don't go there for sure.
No. Anyway, but the values, yeah, and that's not a Disney-owned restaurant even. But I'm just saying, like the food prices are going through the roof. The value's not there. They're keep stepping in with the politics, and now they're taking Walt's name off it.
The Disney difference is to
make more money.
This is subvert expectations.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, we have been going multiple times per year for well over a decade as a family, and I'm just like, I'm done.
I'm gonna slap you, take your wallet, and then send you a bill for more.
Pretty much. It's like getting mugged by Mickey.
Kinda.
You know. So they've got a lot of problems. Again, whether or not this happens, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just a rumor, but
it's a rumor.
To be completely honest, calling it Disney World, I think they're trying to see how much they can get away with, because they're probably angling for taking the Walt Disney name off the company. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's probably politically motivated. But I also think it's not that big of a deal because most people call it Disney World anyway.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that Roy wanted it named that. That's why I'm like, but it was named in honor of him, so that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, well, yeah, even the website's DisneyWorld.com.
Right. You know, I mean, I don't... Everybody calls it Disney World. So I'm like, I can see why they would do it. If it stops there, okay, no problem. But if it's a precursor to taking the Walt off the Disney company name, that's when I'm like, yeah, okay.
They take his statue out of the parks, then you know it's serious. It's really bad.
But Disney World, calling it Disney World, I really don't think. Everybody calls it Disney World. Usually, almost everyone calls. They don't call it Walt Disney World. They say I'm going to Disney World.
Or just Disney. I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going to Disney. You know,
Yeah, so
I don't think it's that big a deal as long as it just stops with that.
It's not gonna stop.
That's just it.
It's not gonna
That's
stop.
gonna be the proof right there.
And it's again. I mean, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Why are we even giving this company the benefit of the doubt?
I'm not. I'm just
they've
saying,
already shown where they're going.
I can see where they have a valid argument with everybody calls it Disney World. I'm just being fair. I am just being fair.
Yeah. But just again, be aware. This is Jim Hill. He's right. He's wrong. He's hearing things. I personally,
we've been joking about it for a while.
I could totally see him doing it. I could totally see them doing it. So
I think it maybe it's testing the water.
We'll see if there's a survey. If there's a survey that goes out, how would you feel about Walt Disney World being called Disney World? And everybody's like, a bunch of dumb people are like, I always thought it was called Disney World anyway. Then it's game over.
Yeah.
You know, gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.